and Messi Dusseldorf. The next speaker for the day is Dr. Sushant Umre. Dr. Sushant Umre is a graduate of GDC Mumbai, and he's been in practice in New Delhi for the last 25 years under the brand name of Dental Aesthetics Delhi. He's the founder trustee and now chief executive of Smile India. He's the South Asia editor of Dental Practice and founder director of Sandika Pharmaceuticals Private Limited, which pioneered in prophylactic dental products in India. Today he's going to talk to us about the Dahl technique on bite tracing, an easy and time-tested method. Over to you, Dr. Umre.
Can you see me?
Yes, we can hear you and see you.
Okay, wow, wonderful. And good. And it's a privilege right now. It's a privilege and an honor to speak to you all on this Teachers' Day. I would like to pay my respect to all the teachers. I must have given them a tough time. And also all the patients who allowed me to work on them and learn from the experience that I have. And the experience is what I'm going to share. I would also like to thank Dr. Kumaraswamy and Dr. Anil Arora for this opportunity to speak here in the first EFAM Dent. And even though I'm excited, but I must confess, this is the first time I'm making an online presentation. I'm a little jittery. So let me show my screen. Where to show my screen now? Good.
Green button right at the bottom, share screen.
God knows what's happened to here.
On the Zoom screen, there's a green button with an arrow, share screen, right at the bottom,
Got it. Well, good. So, am I on?
No, you haven't shared the screen. You got to share the screen. Yes, share screen is not on. Click there, click share screen.
So I thought I did it.
Is your PPT open?
Yeah,
if your PPT open.
Open.
Press share screen. So 2-3 different screens will come. There you press on the PPT screen.
On the PPT screen.
Yeah. So I say I have share screen green button.
Correct. Click that.
I have clicked it.
Now your computer screen will be on.
Okay.
Now.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Thank you. I'm so sorry. Anyway, so I'm good to go.
Click again. Yeah. Now start the slideshow.
Okay.
Perfect. You're on.
Good. So I am going to talk about non-invasive dentistry and minimal invasive dentistry, and I'm a big fan of minimal invasive. And I believe there'll be quite a few youngsters here on this webinar right now. And I must give you one bit that whatever you do, it doesn't last forever. I mean, we call our treatments permanent treatment. It's going to last long time. We also have warranties and guarantees, but believe me, that nothing really lasts long time. It's a matter of time that everything fails. So indicating that whatever you do, you should do lesser. The lesser you do, the better it is for the patient. The bigger service to the patient. So minimal invasive, and I'm a great fan of minimal invasive dentistry. And Dahl's technique for full mouth rehabilitation (FMR) is a very, very non-invasive MI. Dahl's technique for full mouth rehabilitation, there are 3 important questions that you will ask. What is it? When will you do it? Why will it do it? What is it? it to rehabilitate a patient's whole stomatognathing system. And why will you do it? When will you do it? When you do it is when there will be severe wear. I mean, just like the screen that you have on your, that there is severe wear, attrition is there, vertical dimension loss, or aesthetics. Aesthetics can be a big problem. And also edentulous or partially edentulous patients who are there for us to help them with. Why would you do it? You do full mouth rehabilitation to bring back patient to health and function in aesthetics. It is done to reconstruct lost tooth structure. Tooth wear, tooth structure loss, TSL. I mean, I'm going to refer tooth structure loss as TSL now. When the tooth structure is lost without caries, trauma, or developmental disorders, it could be because of erosion, abrasion, effraction, or attrition. Now there is this patient, 58-year-old patient, a healthy male, reports to the clinic with acute thermal hypersensitivity in the upper anterior teeth. And what we see closely, we see the patient has huge wear. This is what is an everyday phenomena in all practices. So some facts. TSL is a physiologic phenomena. It happens all the time. It's something that, I mean, each time that you swallow saliva, which is maybe 10,000 times a day, your teeth meet and you keep losing tooth structure. If the viability of the teeth is challenged, then it becomes pathologic. 2/3 population suffers from TSL, mild to severe. 2/3, mind you. 1/3 population suffers from moderate to severe TSL after 50 years of age. Get the drift. India's 60 plus population has jumped by 35% in the last decade. That means there are so many patients out there who need attention, need help because of TSL. Severe TSL reported during parafunction. The parafunction is another big issue which we have never addressed. I mean, we have been facing this problem for a long time. Why patients do parafunction, but we have bruxism. We have not figured why do they do it, but definitely there's a huge problem for us. 7 times quicker TSL reported when the dentine is exposed. Till enamel is there, the structure loss is slightly slower, but once the dentine is exposed, the structure loss is very quick, 7 times quicker. More facts. Whereas in function, the teeth contact totally 20 to 25 minutes during the 3 meals a day, but in parafunction, teeth contact up to 40 minutes per hour of sleep. Average force in function is 5 to 10 kilograms, whereas in parafunction it can be 150 kilograms. Average duration of contact in function is 0.1 seconds, just a fraction of a second, or mostly when you're eating food, the teeth don't even come in contact, but which is 0.1 second. But as against a single contact can be as long as 9 seconds in parafunction. So parafunction is a disease, and this patient is suffering from parafunction. Now this is what is there for you to treat, and how will you treat it? TSL management. The first thing which all of us think of to do to confirm intercuspal position, meaning prepare these teeth to do full jacket crowns. Now just imagine if you need to prepare these teeth, full jacket crowns, what is going to happen to the endo root canal? So most likely you'll run into the endo, and in fact I work with prosthodontists, and I notice whenever I ask them to do reconstruction on these kind of teeth, the first thing that they ask me to do endo, just get sir RC kara do, root canal kara do in these teeth. Then they'll start to prepare. So that obviously is quite invasive. And the other thing is to reconstruct occlusion in RCP. That means that I'm going to put patient on the most retrusive place, contact point, and I may need to work in most of the teeth. I mean, right now patient has problem just in the anterior teeth, but if we do RCP, we may need to deal with all his teeth. Probably the best solution would be orthodontic appliance, that we move teeth in a way that the teeth are separated, and when the teeth are separated, there is space for us to construct. So that would be probably the best solution for this situation. So Dahl's technique works on orthodontic principle. Its a concept refers to relative axial movement observed when at localized appliance or localized restorations are placed supra-occlusion, and the occlusion re-establishes full arch contact over a period of time. This is what Dahl's technique is all about. So in this particular situation, how will I deal with this? I am just bonded composite straight on this teeth, and obviously the sensitivity was looked after immediately. I have done actually full coverage veneers, right, not only on the palatal surface, also on the anterior surface, which you'll get to see soon. And what do I have? No posterior teeth contact. The posterior teeth are not contacting. How long will will it stay like this? Most probably, maximum it stays like this for 6 months. I have data I have seen in my patient. Within 6 to 8 weeks, also patients start to feel comfortable and they can eat very comfortably. So what I like to discuss here, success of it, history, success, how does it work, how long will it take, one stage or two stage, what are the adverse reactions, future application challenges. So Dahl in 1975, he made this appliance, he was an orthodontist in England, and he made this appliance, and he called it partial bite raising appliance, which was a removable fixture. And obviously the patient was compliance was very poor. The patient wouldn't wear. So what he did was he started to bond these metal structures on the palatal surface of the anterior teeth. So partial bite raising appliance is what then he said also fixed orthodontic intrusion appliance, which intrusion in orthodontics is considered to be very common thing that we do. So what is success? Success is literature reports that objective Dahl's are achieved in the majority of cases, almost 100%, and the creation occurs irrespective of age and sex. There are 2 studies and 3 prospective studies have been identified. I mean, this is what I try to look in literature. And how does it work? Dahl demonstrated in case of anterior appliance, space was created by combination of intrusion of 40% of the anterior teeth and eruption of the unopposed posterior teeth. In my personal opinion, probably something also happens to the joint, and I think it adjusts and readjusts very well. Like RCP, I mean, it goes back to retrogressive position. Occlusion tends to get re-established in about 6 months. This is how long it takes. This is a maximum. It means I have patients who are happy within 2-3 weeks and they are not complaining at all within few days. Is it one stage or two stage? It essentially is single stage process performed in a single extended appointment. Adverse reactions, there's a lot of whatever I saw, pulpal symptoms, periodontal symptoms, TMD, root resorption, etc. And if you notice, I'm not going to the details, but hardly any adverse reaction has been discovered till now. And anyway, when I talk to the patients, I tell them that I'm going to increase the length and width of your teeth just in case you're very uncomfortable, something is going wrong in your TM joint or any periodontal tissue which I've yet to see. I will take it off. I mean, I can reduce it by 10%, 20%, 30%, or everything I can take it off. But rarely that once I've identified a patient, I need to take the material off. Future application and challenges, I think there's a huge future, especially in our country. I think there's a huge population out there who needs attention and needs, these kinds of tooth wear. And what happens is that many patients after the age of 50 or 60, they want to live good life. And we do see a lot of such patients in our practices now. Here, patient education is quite important. I mean, need to educate and make the patient understand exactly what we are doing, the models, communication, and then of course we have a, we use in our practice big screens to show previous cases or something. Try to explain to them in huge detail and communicate very well with them. Even I sit down on the patient's next to the patient chair and show them their pictures, and how often I do a mock-up also to do this, but we educate the patient very well. So patient education, I will then also give a piece of paper for the patient to take home, which goes on the huge detail. Initially, how will it feel for 1 or 2 weeks? Then it is unusual for patient to suffer any pain. And there's a big detail of what exactly they would feel. So the patient education and communication is very important, because patients otherwise may freak out that kya ho raha hai, kya kiya hai. So how much to restore? The minimum amount required to achieve optimal aesthetics, adequate aesthetics and optimum function. And here aesthetic principles come very handy, the golden proportion. We know average upper anterior, upper central incisor has length and width ratio. There is a ratio, and also average is 11.2 millimeters length and 9 millimeters the width of the central incisor. And then accordingly we can make the rest of the teeth in the same way, with using golden proportion. And I'm going back to the same 58-year-old man, and here this is a pre-operative picture of his, and I'm going to measure the length of the incisor. I see about 8.5 or 9 millimeters. What I do is I increase, again I wrap around, veneer is there. I've built up the veneer interior also, because it is going to help him also to have great aesthetics. And you'll see just now that how it will be, he will be very happy, looking very happy immediately. Not only that his problem is addressed, his sensitivity is gone, but he's got a smile back. And I notice I have increased the length by, say, from 9 millimeters to 11 millimeters. So the length I have not increased very much, because he had not really lost a lot of length, but he had lost a lot of parietal tissue, and I rebuilt it there. And this is the only connection that he has right now. The upper anteriors are meeting, and this is immediate post-operative. And look at his eyes. He's looking so happy suddenly that he has teeth to show. And of course, the posterior teeth are not meeting, both sides. And 8 weeks post-operative, notice all the teeth are back in contact. Within 8 weeks, this particular case, you may not be lucky every time, but it's just a matter of time. It's 8, 9, 10, 12 weeks. It's not something that it'll definitely come back. Immediate post-operative and 8 weeks post-operative, before to after. Now, this is a 78-year-old lady. I'm going about and trying to tell you that age is not a bar. You can, it doesn't matter that how old is the patient. And especially in this particular case, because the lady was old and I did not want to make her spend too much time on the dental chair, I took impressions, models of this. This is the bite that she has, and and this is the wear that she has, all interiorly, mostly interiorly. In a basic 3-point articulator, I sent it to the lab to do a wax up, and the wax up came, and only upper anterior has been done. I take a putty index, making index there, and using the index. Initially, I'm using there's a metal band just to separate teeth, because the finishing will be easier for us to do. I'm making boxes of flowable composite, and I'm going to cure it. Once it's cured, I'm going to take it off the elastomeric impression, and then I have a scaffold. Now I have a scaffold. This is a scaffold. You can see the scaffold, and I can build up the tooth easily, immediately. And this is a very quick fix. All time that you need to take would be probably not more than an hour and a half to just slap all the composite all over the place. And bingo, you go there and you're got a great smile and a happy patient before and after. So this is a 45-year-old lady. This is this is a very old case. This is, if you notice here, this is 2000, 20-year-old story. And I mean, obviously she is 65 now, and she showed up like this. If you notice, her all teeth are worn off completely. If I show you closer look, you can almost see that the nerve is peeping out of here, these places. But I still had the courage and explained to the patient and went on and did directly bonded composites all over the place, upper anteriors, lower anteriors, everywhere. And especially the lower anteriors, I was really worried, but not only that, I mean, you'll see soon that 20 years that those teeth did not need endodontic procedure. This is immediate post-operative. This is after a year and a half. Notice she didn't smile before that. This is difficult and forced smile. But if you notice now that she is confident, year and a half later, she smiles very happily. This is 2003 and 2013. So, I mean, the lady is getting older, and you notice my composite is also getting older, but it is still there. It's wearing off. You see now composite slightly wearing off, but it's still there. And so that's great news. I mean, from starting from here, when you in 2000 only, we thought that maybe these teeth may need to be removed, lower anteriors, and maybe something, or maybe endodontic procedure. And with the post and core, the success rate for the senior practitioners here, they would know it doesn't really last too long. But so before to after in 2000, 2013, and stupidly in 2013, I did some metal fused ceramic teeth for all her mouth, trying to do a little more permanent solution. But anyway, I had to do some kind of, in the lower left area, that the bridge was there, and I needed to do some implant. And I thought that I would do crown and bridge everywhere. And this is what I did. And this is in 13 to 14. And now I'm going to show you something interesting. So this is 2000 when she had arrived. And this is 2013 when I did 2 post and cores, and all other teeth have been done jacket crowns, full jacket crowns. And in 2014, if you notice, what is failing? What is failing is only the endodontic procedure, and finally another implant. And this is 2017. In fact, I have not taken an OPG, but I got to see her very recently for a regular checkup, and she's still surviving with the same teeth. I mean, so what you need to really appreciate here, especially youngsters, that notice these teeth where we started from here, they're still over 20 years, they have lasted happily. Whereas if you had done endodontic procedure over a period of time, it is likely to fail. I'm not saying that all endo fails and you can avoid endo all the time, but I mean, as much as possible you can do it, it'll be good. 45-year-old, age no bar, and this is how she arrived, and before to after only, directly bonded composites, upper anteriors, and this is lower anteriors. Of course, this curvos P is kind of missing, but so because of this is a possibility. I could add composite in the posterior teeth also to get occlusion proper. This lady lived in Dubai, and she had only 3 appointments for us, and before to after. So this is where she came in, and immediately when we finished with her, within 2-3 days, and this is how she is gone back. Before to after. Before to after. So here this is before to after. In fact, there is a video, but I think the volume of the video is not really good. So, but I'll show you that before to after, and And so if you can't hear, I'm trying to show that she's saying that she's within 3 sittings, her all discomforts and all sensitivity and her smile was back. So I mean, I had a happy patient there. Incidentally, there's an anecdote that she keeps sending me pictures on my phone, and my wife asked me that who is this young lady who keeps sending you pictures. But that is it. So some perks of being a cosmetic dentist. And thank you very much. If anybody wants to get in touch with me, this is sushantumre@gmail.com. Thank you very much.
Nishant,
Yes.
Viewers, we always heard the line, "Dal mein kuch kala hai." But today's dal, I'm sure there was nothing kala about it. He so beautifully laid out the technique of conviction. Sushant, you can stop screen share so we can all be on screen.
Okay.
So friends, he in the end tried to show a testimonial video of a patient who probably the volume he said was low. But I think I've tried to make up for that, Sushant, and it may become as a surprise for you. I have one of your patients whom you have worked on to come and give his testimonial here. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
I see him.
Kanir, if you can kindly come, yes, and tell us what happened exactly when you had a problem.
Well, I was always there. I was smiling, but people didn't know I was smiling because I would never show my teeth. And my anteriors were worn out. And that's what, when I went to Sushant, always he's been after me, get the dals done. Reluctant, knowing dentists a little bit, you don't want to experiment on yourself. One day I was in Delhi, there was enough time. He made me sit on the chair, and rest is history. I smile, I see my teeth. And just to prove a point, he took me for a fancy dinner the same night. And I enjoyed. Yes, I struggled, but I enjoyed. And that was history. Few months and I'm quite all right. I just eat my regular food.
So, Kanir, it would have taken about, say, around a couple of weeks or a couple of months for you to forget that feeling of high changed occlusion.
I would say 3 to 4 weeks.
Okay. So, Sushant, with this feedback that he has given, various patients have got various different thresholds of acceptance and adaptation. As we all know, it's a story of the musculature.
Yes.
So, if that is so, then do you or can you share with us people's feedback related to discomfort? And has there been a patient who said, "Doc," and you did mention that you have not had a single case where you had to take off the composite?
Yeah.
So did you do anything?
That's not a fact. Okay, you're right that once in a way you run into trouble, and especially, I mean, it's usually the bad patients are Dr. Kanir Bhatia kind of patients who are really close friend of yours. So I did it. So I will give an example. I don't want to name the person because he's a media person. And before I arrived the next morning my practice, I did it the previous day, and the next day before I reached the clinic, he made my associate take almost everything off. So because he was just I don't know what he just did. So but it's much rare, absolutely rare. I mean, you need to identify your patients. You can't obviously if the wear is absolutely the whole mouth, obviously, but it's very easy for you to take the guideline from the interior teeth, to construct the rest of the mouth also. And I have often tried. I'm a huge fan of directly bonded composites, and it's very easy to rebuild the teeth, and they really last. I mean, I showed cases which is going to be 20 years, which is I'm myself amazed. I did not think that obviously 20 years ago I was much younger human being, a much younger dentist. I never thought it was going to last so long, but I'm really happy that it lasted, and I'm so happy that I did a great service. In fact, I feel bad that I did what I did in 2013, that I did crowns, mainly jagged crowns in my mouth. I could have redone composites again, and only because I was doing implants, and I just thought that maybe I need to upgrade. God knows. Anyway, so I would in this new scenario, I may depend only on composite for a long time, if possible, forever.
Would you have any recommendations for a particular genre of composites that you would use?
No, I mean, I don't. I mean, there is
I'm talking about like a microfill or
Oh,
like
no, any hybrid. Micro hybrids are what we use, all of us. Micro hybrids are good, and I think all of them are very, very good composites. In today's time, we are lucky that way, that all these materials manufactured in the best of the places, and there's a lot of due diligence are done to manufacture them. I think everything that we use is absolutely best.
and in case of a posterior worn out tooth, which has
Yes.
been endo treated,
Okay.
would you sort of involve that tooth in a way where you would raise the bite and provisionally use this technique of yours? And for the longevity, go in and advise the crown. At what stage would you do it?
No, so in the posterior, see, you can't do unilaterally. I mean, I don't think you can use just on one side. I mean, if I have to do it, I will probably do it the whole mouth. But I have in my practice noticed that, Kumar, that this is generally in the anterior region, the patient lose tooth structure quite a lot, you know, and especially bruxism, especially the parafunction the patient suffer from. And that is where it is most useful. I mean, I don't think you can just build up one tooth and so, if there's a endo-treated tooth, there's a huge possibility that I would depend on composites to do a directly bonded onlay rather than doing a full crown, because it's so often that you get to see the patient comes back with the crown, after about few months of new crown that you delivered, and the patient comes with the crown in his hand, and when you see the tooth is whatever the stump that you created is sitting on the crown, and then you are either going to do post and core or going to take the tooth out and do an implant. So I personally feel that that's a very invasive dentistry to prepare the teeth, and many times you have no choice. But in my own mouth, this is the first molar I have made my daughter after the endodontic procedure directly bonded only. So I'm happy with it, and it's working. It's the first molar. I eat everything. I'm not a ferocious non-vegetarian, but I eat everything and work and everything. So I don't bother that I can't eat on this side. So I don't see any reason for us to really push ourselves to do full jacket crowns.
Also, Kaneer, if you can again show up, please. So if you are talking about the type of food that you used to eat before and the phase wherein you had to sort of, be selective into what you're eating, was it a tough task and ask, or was it okay?
See, I knew this was done freely. I didn't pay anything, and I knew he would repair it. So I honestly didn't pay any attention. I used my normal meal. Maybe I took little longer to eat, but life is just different. Really, trust me.
So by the way, I must say, I mean, since youngsters are going to listen to this, I don't charge little for this. I charge nicely for it. I mean, of course, in fact, I feel this is not for the composites of the bonding or because I'm trying to, save the tooth structure, and I feel that I should be rewarded for it. So I don't, I will not say that just because it's composite, I may charge very small amount of money. I would like to charge nicely.
And of course, we always speak about a successful clinician being one who knows how to address and share failures. So if you were to share with us a shortcoming or a failure of this technique in your experience, what would it be?
So, not really. I mean, I can't, it's very difficult to think. In this computer only, I have quite a few other cases. I may have once in a way, the patient went away and some teeth chipped off, and case selection was wrong. But mostly, whatever has happened is mainly because of case selection going wrong. Otherwise, there's no reason. And like I said, that I tell this to my patients also, that just in case if it is not working, I'm going to take that tooth structure off and whatever composite off. If I've added 10, I'll take it to 9, 8, 7, 6, whatever it will be remaining, it will be extra for you. So I don't really see so So such a big problem trying this thing out.
And most of the cases that you shared, we saw that were either not exactly senior citizen as much as the elderly.
Yes.
You have youngsters too who
Yeah,
have,
so the youngsters, I would say, because this is a lot to do with Bruxism. I mean, the wear, as a wear, generally with around 40, 45 years of age or more. So the patient may be suffering from other issues like the pathologies with the teeth, and so I have tried it, but I mean that's not enough for me to 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 show it here or document it, because I still many times with amelogenesis imperfecta or with the teeth which are fluorosed or tetracycline, uh, I try to build up with composites only.
thank you, wonderful. Santu, if you want to sort of wind up and ask him something.
No, there's nothing to ask because he was so nice in the explanation that it is very clear to everybody one and all what he has tried to convey. And of course, the boss was there with the Dr. Kaneer Bhatia. So I guess
that was a big thing.
so Kaneer also was there, and I guess the next time around, Kaneer may actually give a live demo in his own mouth and give a lecture on the same. And Kumar, I guess all the four panelists are also here.
Yeah, also before we let Sushant go, Santosh, Sushant, we would like to have, and let Sushant come on screen and get highlighted. We want to have your testimonial about your experience about this eFamily, because we are recording this with your permission.
So I am a bit jittery because this is the first time I'm doing it, and but it's amazing. I mean even the promo that I got to see. Even today, I've been afternoon. I've been going through in the exhibition area and in the lecture theater. I think it's amazing, and it's the way to go. And I think this is what it is going to be now onwards.
Thank you very much, Sushant. We appreciate your time and your rare topic that you chose to share with all of us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.